Hi, in this video, I'm going to be showing you some tips and tricks for Google Meet. So these are just some things I find useful after having used Google Meet for a while for school. So first, if you hover over this mute button here at the bottom, you'll see it says turn on microphone and Control and D. So what that means is if you look at your keyboard and hold down the Control key and the letter D, then you'll be able to mute and unmute. So I'm using it right now, and there I can unmute myself and then mute myself again. So that's really helpful because sometimes Google Meet lags a bit, especially if you have other tabs open. So if you're doing work for school, it could take a while to load when you're trying to click on these buttons here and unmute. So if you want to quickly mute and unmute, you can just use the keys. And then you can do the same thing for your video. Here it says Control and E. So that would be by holding down the Control key and the letter E. And then another thing is the pin button. So if you see here, it says pin to screen. And this is helpful if you want to see one person's screen or what one person is presenting and nobody else's. So their screen, whoever you pin down, will become the main one on Google Meet and stay on, like that until you unpin them from the screen. That's helpful. I find it helpful when I'm in class to pin the teacher's screen in case the teacher is showing a whiteboard or writing on something so that it becomes bigger and so that I can see it clearly. And then another option is the Jamboard. So this is sort of a new feature in Google Meet. It's the whiteboard. If you click on this, so you would go to your menu bar and then click on Whiteboard and start a new whiteboard. So once that loads, you'll see it really does just look like a whiteboard. Here, you can draw anything you'd like, write anything, you can create shapes. And I find this really useful, especially in math class, because you can just write anything that you want. And it's a really good tool for that and for writing things in a meeting. Or if you want to make a drawing and show it to the people in the meeting. So just by creating a whiteboard, you're sharing it with everyone in the meeting, so they will have access to this too. And then another thing, this is also new, is the blurred background on Google Meet. So if you go to that menu bar and click on change background, then you can, so your background will become sort of blurred. So this is useful if you have a lot of things in the background or if you don't want people to be seeing everything behind you, then you can just blur your background. And then lastly, so if you click on this button right here, you'll see the grid layout options. So these are a few options that you might find helpful changing. But also, if you click on View Advanced Settings, you'll see all of these options here too. So this is useful if you want to ever change something. If you want to make sure your video is not mirrored, you can change that here. If you don't want to see a presentation in the grid layout, you can change that here. You can change the size of the grid. There are a lot of things you can do here in these advanced settings, so make sure to check these settings out too.